The stale air of courtroom 4B in Harford County Courthouse reeked of bleach and ego. Jordan Thomas, just 19, stood alone behind the defense table, gripping a weathered blue folder. The judge towered above, Arthur Pendleton, whose robe seemed heavier with prejudice than with authority. Well, Pendleton began, voice thick with contempt, decided to play lawyer today, boy. Jordan Thomas, Your Honor, he replied steadily. His voice was calm, but his hands betrayed him, slightly shaking. Pendleton smirked. Middle name? Or just Thomas like a good little servant? A cruel chuckle rippled through the courtroom. Jordan didn't flinch. I'm representing myself. Of course you are, Pendleton muttered. Watched a few courtroom dramas, did you? Maybe took notes between arrests. Jordan opened his folder. Your Honor, I'm moved to present new evidence. The video used by the prosecution is edited. I have a sworn affidavit from a certified metadata specialist and the uncut footage. Pendleton leaned back, clearly amused. Well, let's see the big reveal then, counselor. Jordan nodded toward the front row, where a young man played the original video. The courtroom grew still as the screen showed a group of white teens surrounding Jordan in an alley. One shoved him, another threw a bottle. Then came the punch, and Jordan defending himself. As seen here, Jordan said, voice rising with clarity, the fight was provoked. I did not initiate it. The prosecutor's face tightened. Pendleton's expression, however, remained stone. So what? You want a medal because you waited to throw the first punch. Jordan stared him down. I have a legal right to defend myself. You have the right to sit down and shut up, the judge snapped, slamming his gavel. Spare us the activist performance. The audience murmured. The judge's voice darkened. You think you're clever, but this is my court. I know your type. Trouble then, trouble now. Always crying victim. Jordan clenched his fists, but his voice stayed cool. And what type would that be, Your Honor? Pendleton didn't blink. You know damn well. Silence fell. The judge's words hung like smoke. Jordan stepped forward, then let the record reflect. He said, projecting his voice now, that this court is disregarding exculpatory evidence in violation of People v. Waller, 37 in the Y.2D 191, 1975, and ignoring due process under Illinois v. Gates, 462 U.S. 213, 1983. You haven't reviewed the full report, and yet you mock it. That's judicial misconduct. Pendleton shifted in his seat, but Jordan continued. If you question the expert, you can call him. License number's right here. But if your only issue is that I'm black, say it. Say it on the record. The judge bristled. Watch your tone. I am, Jordan replied evenly. And so should you. He held up another document. I came here to fight lies with facts. You expected fear. You expected silence. But I came ready. The courtroom was frozen. You got something to say about the evidence? He asked. Pendleton opened the report, flipping through pages with theatrical aggression. His face reddened. The prosecutor cleared his throat. Your Honor, perhaps we should reconsider the motion to dismiss. Pendleton slammed the file shut. The court finds the charges still valid. Your opinions mean nothing. And if you think this circus makes you look innocent, think again. Your kind knows how to manipulate. Jordan stepped forward. Your Honor, if you continue presiding over this trial, I will submit a motion for recusal to the Judicial Ethics Commission. I have a transcript of every word you've spoken, including your remarks about my kind, including your mockery. Pendleton stiffened. Is that a threat? No, Jordan said coldly. It's notice. I in turn agree on and eyeball. My mentor is federal attorney Clarice O'Malley. She'll see this transcript. And if this trial continues, she'll appear with reporters, a discrimination complaint, and a federal motion for bias. The judge didn't speak. Jordan lifted the transcript, voice unwavering. Unless you'd prefer I read the Judicial Conduct Clause that allows for immediate suspension in cases of explicit racial prejudice? Silence. The prosecutor leaned into the mic. Maybe it's best to. Jordan turned to him. And you? You said nothing when the insult started. Not a word. That silence is complicity. Are you prepared to answer for it? The prosecutor looked down. Pendleton's face was flushed. Jordan reached into his folder again. And just so we're clear, this isn't about ego. This is about justice. The moment you try to proceed without addressing this misconduct, the courtroom door opened that a woman in a navy pantsuit entered, briefcase in hand. Several reporters trailed behind her. The judge's eyes widened. Jordan didn't turn, that he already knew who it was. Judge Pendleton lowered his gaze, adjusting his robe like a shield cracking under weight. His voice, once sharp, now struggled to maintain its edge. "The court will take a 20-minute recess," he muttered, "to review the presented material." Jordan gave a quiet nod, not moving, not blinking, just burning stillness. When court resumed, silence smothered the room. Pendleton re-entered as though dragging the centuries behind him. He sat with ritual, adjusted the mic, and sneered. "Well," he said, voice laced with venom, "the circus continues." The prosecutor avoided eye contact. The walls themselves felt tense. "Mr. Thomas," the judge began, "I've reviewed your files, your expertise. Impressive. But remember something," his voice turned low, personal, cruel. "You are nothing. You'll never be anything. You're a damn slave of the system pretending to belong. You don't destroy me. I'm the law here. I decide what matters. And you," he jabbed a finger, "I'll bury you like the others. Like we always have." A few people in the audience gasped. Jordan didn't flinch. Instead, he reached in his jacket, pulled out his phone, tapped a few times, then raised it. "Your Honor just confessed," he said. A recording played, echoing through the courtroom. "Damned slave of the system. I am the law, and you're kind." Silence shattered. Audible gasps. Whispers. A woman near the back clutched her mouth. A man swore under his breath. The room wasn't shocked. It was cracked open. Jordan placed the phone down with a precise calm. "I'm allowed to record public hearings under Harford County's Court Regulation 4B, Paragraph 6. Your words are now official evidence of misconduct. Would you like me to read that regulation aloud as well?" Pendleton looked as if gravity had tripled around him. His mouth stayed shut. Jordan took a slow step forward. "So what now? Do we continue this performance until CNN knocks on your chambers? Or would you like to reconsider before you become a national headline?" A single clap broke the silence. Then another. A third. The bailiff shifted but did nothing. The judge's hand hovered near the gavel but didn't move. His grip was limp. His rule undone. Jordan returned to his seat like a man sitting in a throne of broken chains. Then the prosecutor rose. "Your Honor," he began carefully, "the prosecution requests immediate adjournment. In light of new developments, the impartiality of this court is in serious question." Pendleton snapped his head toward him. "You too." The prosecutor opened his briefcase and pulled out a thick folder. While the court was in recess, he said, "I received a call from the regional assistant prosecutor. Mr. Thomas submitted recordings, transcripts, and something else, your sentencing history over the past decade." He opened the file and read, "You've given African-American defendants twice the sentence length for identical crimes. You denied nearly all motions for self-defense from black defendants. 3 cases where juries recommended probation. You sent the kids straight to prison." The judge's voice cracked. "That's statistical manipulation. Numbers aren't truth." "No, sir," the prosecutor said. "Their lives." Jordan stood. "My brother," he said, "was sentenced by you 5 years ago. First offense. For years. You saw dreadlocks, not a teenager. And I started digging. I didn't just come for me. I came for them." The room was still. A single sniffle was heard, then silence. The prosecutor turned to the bailiff. "We request the immediate removal of Judge Pendleton pending a misconduct review." The bailiff looked at the judge. Pendleton's jaw trembled. "You're going to let this little punk dictate the courtroom?" he growled. "No," Jordan said, voice even. "I'm just reminding you of what the law looks like when it's finally not afraid." The bailiff stepped forward. "Your Honor, I'll have to ask you to come with me." Pendleton rose slowly. "This generation," he muttered. "You think you own the world." "No," Jordan said, as the judge passed him. "We're just taking it back." The gavel was never struck again. It sat abandoned on the bench, like an outdated weapon. Weeks passed. Judge Pendleton was suspended, pending federal investigation. Jordan's recording went viral in under 24 hours. Civil rights groups demanded every case he ever ruled on be reviewed. 14 black men were released after retrials. The first? Jordan's brother. Jordan Thomas became a symbol, not of protest, but of precision, of justice fought with the law itself. 1819, he received early admission to Harvard Law School. The same courthouse that once sneered at him now had a portrait of him in the legal reform hallway, that he was no longer the accused. He was the one who stood alone and exposed the cracks beneath the gavel. And yet, when asked how he felt about winning, he simply replied, "I didn't win. I just made the system stutter."